Sup nerds, today we have a store championship finals of Red Hybrid versus Royal Knights. Brandon starts out first by hatching, Evo into Flamemon and playing the 4-cost Takuya. And Tanner starts out by hatching his Drazel, absorbing the second Drazel, and then playing Magna for 2, and then playing Mech for 4 to pass turn. Brandon promotes, Evo's into Burning for 3 memory, swing, checks a purge, so he does survive. And then Brandon plays Flamemon, ditches a hybrid and draws 2. Tanner absorbs Magna, draws an extra card off his effect. And he swings with a Mechamon and survives the check, and then he purges out the Magnamon, swings over the Burning Greymon, and then Brandon triggers the deletion effect to play out a Takuya from hand. Then Tanner plays with Marcus, taps him to pop the Flamemon on field. And if you can see the cards in Brandon's hand, it appears he does have a Solarmon, which is basically just going to end the game if he ever gets to play it. So Brandon Evo's into a Gunimon for 2, activates Atomic Inferno, gives him an extra check and extra DP. Swings and then gains 2 memory off of the inheritable from the Tamer. And then activates his own deletion of playing the Flamemon suspended. And Evo's in raising into another Flamemon. Then plays a Takuya for 3. Alright, so Tanner absorbs the Magna and the last of the Drazels. Swings over the Flamemon with a Mechamon. He's -8 right now from his sources from Drazel. So he plays Genku, and then Genku plays out Magna, and then Brandon goes to 3 from his memory setter. So Brandon promotes. He triggers his BT13 Takuya to put 5 hybrids underneath him to potentially warp into an Emperor Greymon. He chooses not to go into Emperor though, and Evo's into a Gunimon for 2 to go to 1. So he's 13k with that Agunimon, which is pretty swole. Activates an Atomic Inferno, tries to swing for all 3 security. Tanner blocks with Magna, and Brandon actually gains some memory off the Atomic Inferno effect. And then Tanner draws a card from Magna. And Brandon hard plays a Flamemon, searches, and then hard plays Solarmon. And that's probably going to end the game. So Tanner absorbs the Genkumon. And now, because of Solarmon's all turns effect, he cannot reduce his play cost. So everything is going to be max value. Brandon's board is swarmed. He only has 3 security left. Not looking good for your boy. He swings security with the Mechamon. It does die, so he gets to tuck a source. And he tucks a Jesmon, and then plays Purge for effectively 3. Draws a card, and then gets to tuck another card underneath Drazel. And he tucks a Gallantmon underneath. Then he plays Magna for the full 7, since he cannot reduce play costs. And now he's just hoping that his security saves him. So Brandon's going to swing with Flamemon first. So Tanner lets that go through. Brandon triggers the own deletion of the Yoko inheritable to draw 1. Swings with other Flamemon. It dies. Evo into Burning Gray for 2. Swings for 10. Checks the Odin's Breath, which pops his Solar and then minuses 1k on his whole field. Or minuses 1 security check on his whole field. So potentially it might save him, we'll see. Evo's for 1 into Burning. Atomic Infernos. Attempt to swing for game. He blocks with Magna, draws a card, and then Brandon gains 3 memory from the Atomic Inferno effect. Plays double Takuya and then plays out his second Solarmon. It's pass turn. And that is probably it. Amazing that Tanner managed to survive another turn. That Odin's Breath and security definitely clutched. But that second Solarmon is brutal. So Tanner purges out the BT12 Gallantmon. Swings over the small dude and then pops the Solar with the Gallantmon when attacking effect. So he can reduce play cost now, which is really good. You know, I keep counting Tanner out from the Solar Mons, but he's outing them. But the fact that his security is a 0 right now is really bad for him, since Brandon has 2 Tamers in play. So he's -9. He plays Gallant for 4, pops the dude, puts him to 1. But sadly, Brandon has Gravity Crush and an Emperor, so he can warp and then swing for game. If he didn't have Grav Crush, that actually would have gave Tanner an extra turn. But sadly, he had the Grav Crush. So Brandon takes game 1. Red Hybrid doing Red Hybrid things. Just swing and face. No regard for human life, you know. So Tanner's going to go first for game 2. Hatches Drazel, absorbs Drazel, and then plays Magna for 2. Brandon hatches Yokomon, evos into Solarmon. Plays Boko for 3 to choke Tanner to 1. Gets full value, Takuya and Flamon. Tanner absorbs Magna, draws a card from Magna, and then absorbs the top card of his Tama stack. And he just gets to stare at that Solarmon. Plays Leopard to pass 3 memory back to Brandon. Brandon plays Flamon for 3, discards a hybrid, draws 2. This is my one issue with Royal Knights. I really love playing the deck, but the fact that you just flat out lose to the play cost floodgates just really sucks. So Brandon plays a Takuya for 4. Tanner absorbs his Leopard and plays Crania. Puts Brandon to 3 from his memory setter. So Crania is unaffected by his Digimon effects until the end of his turn, and then at the end of his turn, he can make one of his opponent's Digimon swing, and he does have blocker. So Brandon evos into a Gunimon, swings, does die to the check, and then plays out Flamemon suspended. Flamemon effect triggers, discards a hybrid, draws 2, evos into a Gunimon for 2, activates Atomic Inferno, swings for 2 checks. And he does die to the first check. Gains 2 memory from the security check, and then on deletion plays a Flamemon suspended. Flamemon effect triggers, discards a hybrid, draws 2. He swings with Boko just because he's going to be forced to swing at the end of his turn anyway, so that's why he did that. Then he plays Takuya to choke Tanner to 1. And then Tanner absorbs the last Drazel of his stack, and then absorbs a Craniumon. Then he plays Gallant for 2 memory. Sadly, that Gallant does not have an on-play, so nothing happens. And now Brandon's thinking about if he wants to promote the Solarmon. Alright, so Brandon does promote the Solar. He swings with Flame, dies. Swings with Flame, dies. So Brandon triggers Takuya's warp effect by tucking 5 hybrids from trash underneath him. And actually does choose to warp into Emperor for 3 memory. Emperor's effect deletes the Gallantmon. And now Tanner has 2 memory, and he cannot reduce play cost. He does have 1 security left, though. It's not over yet. Yeah, the fact that little rookie just shuts down the whole deck, like, feels bad, man. If those Floodgate rookies didn't exist, I would absolutely love playing Royal Knights and wouldn't really be worried about any matchups, but the fact that those exist in 3 different colors just sucks. So Tanner pays 12 memory full cost for Alpha, tucks a Source, and now Brandon's play cost 10 or higher cannot attack until the end of his turn. So the Solarmon can swing, but the Emperor Greymon cannot. And Brandon didn't have any Tamers in place at the beginning of his turn, so he's not going to be able to swing besides his Solar this turn. So Brandon evos the Flamemon and Raising, plays the Takuyamon, and then plays Flamemon, discards a hybrid and draws 2. Plays a Takuya, and then activates Atomic Inferno just to choke Tanner to 1. Rude. And that limits Tanner's options as far as what he can play, because now he can only play Royal Knights that cost 11 or less, since he only has 1 memory. So Drazel absorbs the Alpha. And then Tanner basically concedes. He plays the Marcus, pops the Solarmon. And he says, I'm not going to let him get the last swing. So Brandon promotes, swings a Flamemon, and swings for game. But GG's. So congratulations to Brandon for taking the store championship 2-0, firmly on the shoulders of Solarmon Turbo. But congratulations to Tanner as well for coming in second place. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.